Hollywood is in shock. Marvel Studios has just made a decision that no one saw coming. Firing Ryan Reynolds, one of its biggest stars in the face of one of its most beloved characters. How is it possible that the actor who brought Deadpool to success has been removed from the Marvel Cinematic Universe? What seemed to be just rumors has been confirmed. The controversy surrounding his wife Blake Lively and her confrontation with Justin Baldoni have been key factors in his departure. But the question everyone is asking is, what role did Ryan really play in the story, and why did Marvel decide he could no longer be part of its franchise? The answer lies in a series of tests that have come to light, and that have completely changed the perception of the couple. Stay until the end, because what we are about to reveal could mark the end of Ryan Reynolds' career in superhero films. It all started with a project that promised to be a hit. Justin Baldoni, known for his films with deep and emotional messages. She was preparing the adaptation of a highly anticipated novel. Blake Lively was cast in the lead role, and at first, everything seemed to fall into place, but tension soon began to arise on the set. Blake began to show frustration with the control Baldoni had over production. She not only directed the film, but also had influence over the script and marketing strategies. Sources close to the shoot claim that Blake felt displaced and that the attention she was focused on Justin instead of her. What was a simple creative disagreement soon turned into a battle of egos. But what no one knew was that this conflict would grow to affect one of the most important franchises in Marvel cinema. Things got even more tense when rumors began to circulate that Blake wasn't willing to lose the battle. Recent leaks revealed messages in which Blake referred to the influence of Ryan and his industry contacts. She referred to them as dragons, suggesting they could protect him and ensure his image remained intact while Baldoni was discredited. But the real shock came when messages directly involving Ryan were revealed. In these messages, Ryan was not only aware of what was happening, but also actively participated in conversations to discredit Baldwin. He suggested press tactics to shape the narrative in favor of Blake and hurt Justin. What at first seemed like an issue between two actors on a film set was now turning into a large-scale manipulation strategy, and Marvel was paying attention as all this drama unfolded. Marvel Studios found itself in an awkward situation. Ryan Reynolds wasn't just a star within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but a key player in the future of the franchise, with Deadpool 3 on the way and big plans for his integration with other characters. Marvel had a lot at stake, but when new evidence emerged confirming that Ryan was involved in a campaign to manipulate the narrative against Baldwin, things changed. Marvel Studios realized they couldn't continue supporting a figure whose reputation was now in question. The relationship between Marvel and Ryan began to deteriorate in secret, with high-level meetings to assess the damage this could cause to the brand, and ultimately, after review of all the evidence, Marvel made a decision to cut ties with Reynolds. The message was swift and forceful in an official statement. Marvel mentioned that after review of new information, the relationship with Ryan was no longer sustainable. The serious and definitive tone of the statement made it clear that there was no turning back. The news of Ryan's dismissal shook the entertainment industry. Reynolds rarely makes such drastic decisions with its lead actors, and the fact that they did so with someone as popular as Ryan made many wonder how serious the accusations against him were. The impact was immediate. Studios that had projects with Ryan began to reconsider their participation, and some rumors indicate that even other major production companies are distancing themselves. Meanwhile, Ryan has remained silent. Unlike other controversies where his strategy was to respond with humor on social media, this time he has chosen to say nothing. Experts believe his team he is working on a damage control strategy to prevent his career from completely imploding, but the question remains, can he recover from this, or are we seeing the beginning of the end of Ryan Reynolds' Hollywood career? Ryan Reynolds' departure not only impacted the industry, but also caused a strong division within Marvel Studios. While some top executives consider the decision necessary to protect the franchise's image, others argued that losing Reynolds meant a multi-million-dollar blow to the company. Marvel had bet everything on merging Deadpool with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the dismissal of its star jeopardized the future of several key projects. There was even talk of the possibility that some directors associated with the studio might reconsider their relationship with Marvel after seeing how the company distanced itself from one of its most profitable figures. One of the directors most affected by this decision was Shawn Levy, who directed Deadpool 3 and was now facing the challenge of continuing without his main protagonist. Some leak reports indicate that Levi tried to negotiate with Marvel to reconsider the decision, but the studio had already taken a firm stance. The order was Ryan Reynolds. She was no longer part of the MCU. With Ryan Reynolds' dismissal, the press and public were turning to Blake Lively. While at the beginning of the conflict, everything seemed to focus on Justin Baldoni. The revelation that Blake was directly involved in the campaign against him completely changed the narrative. Messages began to leak in which the actress discussed strategies to discredit Baldoni and ensure his removal from future projects. Several sources also claimed that Blake used her network of contacts in Hollywood to influence public perception of the conflict. The situation worsened when some actors and actresses who had worked with her in the past began to speak out about her behavior behind the scenes. What was once just a scandal within the industry was now becoming a public image issue for Blake Lively. And while Ryan was the one facing the immediate consequences, more and more people were beginning to question the role Blake had played in this story. For years, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were seen as one of Hollywood's most beloved and authentic couples. Their interactions on social media, their humorous interviews, and their image as a perfect married couple made them public favorites. But now that image was in crisis. Social media was filled with divided comments. On the one hand, there were those who defended Ryan and claimed that Marvel had made an exaggerated decision for them. The actor was still one of Hollywood's most charismatic figures and deserved another chance. On the other hand, thousands of users expressed their disappointment upon learning of the alleged manipulation behind the scandal with Justin Baldoni. The hashtags Goodbye Ryan and Blake Lively Exposed began trending on Twitter as the media discussed whether the couple would be able to regain their public image. Although they still had the support of many fans, one thing was clear: Ryan and Blake's spell was no longer indestructible. The question now was what would come next. With Ryan Reynolds out of Marvel, the uncertainty surrounding Deadpool's future grew greater than ever. Deadpool 3 was already in production when his dismissal was announced, and now the studio had to make an urgent decision: replace Reynolds or cancel the project altogether. Some sources suggested that Marvel was considering the possibility of a reboot of the franchise by introducing a new actor to play Deadpool in future films. Other rumors indicated that Marvel could move forward with a film using scenes already filmed by Ryan, but without renewing his contract for future appearances. What was clear was that Marvel had to act quickly to prevent the impact of this controversy from further affecting the franchise. Meanwhile, other major production companies began to wonder whether they should continue working with Ryan Reynolds or if it was better to distance themselves until the controversy subsided. Amid all this chaos, the big question was how Ryan will respond to his dismissal. Will he fight to clear his name and regain his place in Hollywood, or will he accept his fall and seek to reinvent himself away from the industry? What began as a conflict between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has triggered a series of events that have put Ryan Reynolds' career in jeopardy. His departure from Marvel not only means losing one of the most important roles of his career, but could also affect his future in the film industry. The leaks, media pressure, and the distancing of important figures in Hollywood have made it clear that his reputation is at risk. Now, the big question is, will Ryan be able to recover from this scandal, or are we seeing the beginning of the end of his era in Hollywood? Marvel has already made its decision, but the entertainment industry is unpredictable. Some actors have managed to reemerge after similar controversies, while others have never regained their status. But there is something more disturbing if Ryan Reynolds is facing these consequences. What will happen to Blake Lively? Her involvement in the conflict has become increasingly evident, and if the public continues to demand answers, her image could be the one to fall. Only time will tell if the story dies down or if new revelations continue to shake Hollywood. What do you think? Do you think Ryan deserves another chance, or that his departure from Marvel was inevitable? Leave us your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on the next updates on this scandal that continues to grow.